perfect way. You no longer exist, you're no longer in my
Welcome to AfterMat, your source for WWE PLE recaps. I am your host, the Secret Boss Cal, and alongside me, as always, I have my tag team partner, the EST Delisha. What's going on, Delisha?
Hello, hello. As always, another Monday time for another recap.
Yeah, and this time it's the season 9 premiere. We'll be talking about Backlash. As you know, our season always kicks off on Backlash since WrestleMania is our season finale. We should be getting fresh storylines, and for the most part, we kind of have. I think for all these matches, I believe we have. So, I mean, there's some like multi-people matches that have interlined, or continuing storylines in a sort of a way, but and then like the WrestleMania Becky Lynch match, her surprise return, that kind of bled into this match as well. But other than that, I believe it's kind of like new storylines, and I mean, for this one, going to the PLE, I wasn't really looking forward to any match when I like first thought about it. But then I was like, oh, like some of these matches have the potential of being good matches. So I guess turns out who I was seeing. I went to my brewery, and he's more of an AEW guy, and the guy was like saying like, oh, I'm looking forward to this match and this match, and I'm like, oh, maybe they'll be good matches. And then did they end up being good matches? I guess we'll talk about it when we get to it. But Delisha, were you looking forward to any of the matches? Looking at the card prior to it?
Yeah, of course. The main event was always going to be intrigue as as Cena goes on this heel run through his last year as a fully participating wrestler. And then we also had the hypeness of Jacob Fatu with I guess it's his first defense from Mania. So I was looking forward to that. And then everything else in between was just like, oh yeah, this could be, like you said, this could be fun and be interesting to see how this plays out. And we'll go into if that paid off or not.
All right, so we'll start with the first match of the evening, which was the aforementioned Jacob Fatu and the United States Championship being defended against Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Max Dupree, and the champion Jacob Fatu in a fatal 4-way match. The match started out where people paired off. Basically, Drew McIntyre has his feud with Damian Priest, so they were going one-on-one in one corner, and then Jacob Fatu, who just recently took the belt away from Max Dupree, was going on one-on-one in the other corner. A lot of back and forth action. There wasn't really anything of note until I guess Jacob Fatu. There was a lot of like finishers that were kind of hit earlier on, but it was like not a finisher obviously because it was only like 3 minutes into the match. But the first thing of note I think was when Jacob Fatu hit Damian Priest with a pop-up Samoan drop onto a barricade. Later on in the match, like there were some exchanges between like Max Dupree hitting Jacob Fatu, and then like Jacob Fatu them going back and forth, and then Drew McIntyre coming out of nowhere and hitting both of them, and then doing like a kip up. Then Damian Priest getting into the ring and doing his like old school move, which this time he hit. Eventually, like there was a really cool spot where I believe Jacob Fatu. Wait, is this? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think this is when this is when it happened. They were in. Jacob Fatu was in the corner with Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest was kind of out of the ring. Max Dupree was on the ground in the corner, like ready to get like splashed. But Drew McIntyre was kind of like in tree of woe position, and Jacob Fatu was on the turnbuckle. And it took a little while to set up because Jacob Fatu had to get his legs set for everything properly. And once everything was set, Drew McIntyre used his core strength to pull himself back up and grab Jacob Fatu and throw him in a belly-to-belly suplex. But Jacob Fatu was able to turn that into a swanton and land on Max Dupree, and then run to the outside and hit a suicide dive onto Damian Priest, and then get back into the ring and get hit by a BFT by Max Dupree. Then Priest hits the South of Heaven onto Max Dupree. Then Damian then Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore onto Damian Priest, which causes him to fall over onto Max Dupree for the 1-2, and then then Drew McIntyre breaks up the pin. Eventually, it keeps going back and forth for a while. I think that's when I think Max Dupree hits another BFT on Jacob Fatu, causing him to roll out of the ring. Drew McIntyre hits a bunch of future shock DDTs on everybody, and basically now it's just Max Dupree, I believe, and Drew McIntyre in the ring. Drew McIntyre hits a Claymore, goes for the pin, gets the 1-2, and the referees pull it out of the ring, and that was done by Damian Priest, which causes Drew McIntyre to get pissed, and Drew McIntyre goes to the outside, and they start fighting each other on the outside, over the barricade, through the audience, into like this video producer area. I don't know what you want to call it, video equipment area. They get to the top of the video equipment, like giant metal boxes, and then Damian Priest hits this South of Heaven off of the video equipment boxes through 2 tables. Unfortunately, Drew McIntyre's head was like farther than the table, so he apparently hit his head on the concrete. So we can hope that he's okay. We'll see what happens with him. But that pretty much eliminated him for the match. At this point, Max Dupree has Jacob Fatu on an announcer table on the outside. He goes back into the ring, climbs to the top, is ready to hit the elbow drop off the turnbuckle onto the announcer table. However, this is when Solo Sikoa shows up and pulls Jacob Fatu off of the announcer table, saving him. And this upsets Max Dupree. Max Dupree comes down and starts like to go after Solo, but right when he's about to go after Solo, someone in the audience clotheslines him and knocks him down. The man jumps into the crowd, jumps from the crowd into the the side outside of the ring, and everyone sees that it's Jeff Cobb, who's a free agent signing from the Indies, I believe. And he looks very, I don't know, he might be Samoan. I think actually he's from like, I forgot where he's from.
I think he's Filipino, but
Guam. He's from Guam.
Hawaii.
He's from Guam. That's what it is.
Okay.
He actually, I think he carried the flag in one of the Olympics for Guam. He's a flag bearer for Guam, which is a U.S. territory. So, but he looks very Samoan, and so it looks like they might have like a whole other bloodline kind of. I don't know what they're gonna do with this, but so Jeff Cobb then starts beating on Max Dupree, puts him against the outside turnbuckle, and does a splash. That was a cool move to see. Then Jacob Fatu gets up eventually and sees like, what the hell's going on? Like, why is he here? Why are you helping me? I could have done this on my own. Like, he's just thinking this all in his head. Eventually, Jacob Fatu rolls Max Dupree into the ring, hits this springboard moonsault, and gets the 1-2-3 and retains. And even after the match, he's looking at Solo and Jeff Cobb and like, why are you guys here? Why are you helping me? I could have done this on my own. But with that, Jacob Fatu was able to retain the championship. What did you think of this match, Alicia?
Yeah, I thought the match was really fun. It was a great way to start off Backlash to get the crowd into it. As they've also let us know that Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre are certainly not done with their feud, so we'll see what happens with that down the line. Of course, I didn't think Jacob was going to drop it that quickly, unless it was due to like a Solo interference or something like that, and that's how they get into that feud. But so I was really happy. But I was really happy to see him win. I do think that we're still showing those seeds of dissension. It's not outright dissension, but there's slowly dropping in those tidbits that Fatu and Solo are definitely going to have a match coming up probably in time for SummerSlam, maybe. Because I like that, like with Solo when he was like bringing up his I guess bloodline fellows, like the Tongans. Like if you recall, like no one was really excited for him to have those two on his side, so to speak. So now that he's brought in, for lack of a better term, an outsider into their group, it's another soul extension, especially with Jacob being very well sowing the confusion, and that he's not really on par with that. I'm sure he's like, I could destroy anybody I want. I don't need your help type of deal. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out as well. And if you're not familiar with Jeff Cobb, he's basically just another big guy who can move athletically, like who looks like he shouldn't move the way he should. So that should be exciting for people if you would have enjoyed, like Jacob, like Bronson Reed, um, and those like that. So he should fit in nicely.
I did see a match on Twitter, or like some clips on Twitter of him facing Bronson Reed, and that was a pretty good match. They were throwing each other around like they were like not weighing 300 pounds, wherever they are. Like it was pretty cool. All right. Any other thing to say about the first match, or no? Go on to the second one.
No,
Okay.
we were also a good start.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good match. The second match was for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, featuring the Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria against Becky Lynch.
Yeah, so this match pretty much went out with Becky trying to dominate pretty early on. I think Lyra tried to get her in a submission pretty early on in the match too, but didn't really pan out, as Becky just went on the offense time and time again, trying to get her into the disarm her and giving her a couple of Bexploder, is that what it's called? Like Becky's like suplex position. And that's kind of pretty much how the match would go for a while. Is like Becky trying to overpower Lyra, but Lyra showing her fighting spirit of not giving up. And it pretty much kind of turned the crowd. I mean, they were into Lyra, but you didn't get a lot of fanfare from her, especially when you have like Becky being the one in the ring. Because of course, everyone loves Becky, no matter how much they try to heal her up. But you could also see as Lyra kept kicking out of the various times that Becky was trying to pin her, that she was getting frustrated. You can see her trying to bring a chair into play with the ref not letting her do so. And while the ref was busy with that, she would go and untie the turnbuckle, which she did get Lyra to fall into. But excuse me. Um, and then I did believe the ref did see that the turnbuckle was exposed, so of course he's gonna try to fix it. And while he was doing that, Lyra had I think she put her in some type of submission, but I don't know what the name was. But then Lynch will counter that to get her into a true disarm her position. And then Lyra would get out of that as well. And then she wound up countering herself into a pin that very quickly, because I feel like I blinked that she had won the match, and retaining her title. But I said it happened so quickly because shortly right after that, Becky had went after her on the attack. Pretty much so that they had to bring out other officials to try to break it up. But so just letting you know that this feud still isn't over, probably, even though Becky did lose. They probably will have another match at some point to see if Lynch can actually get the title off her, but we shall see. I think overall, I think the match was fine. I think this might have been Lyra's best in-ring performance on the main roster. She's got some great matches down in NXT that really got the crowd on her side. Because I always thought she was a great performer, but her let's say her promos or in out of ring action she kind of like lays flat, kind of very vanilla baby face at the moment. So I think her having a good showing, and then last Monday's promo against Becky showed a more depth to her as well. So I hope they can continue that ball rolling. And then as she is going to be the IC champion, I think she should be one that the fans can actually get behind, not just for her in-ring ability. But did you like this match? And do you think Becky should have won here, or do you see her winning somewhere down the line, taking off Lyra or someone else?
Yeah, I don't think Becky should win. I think Lyra should be champion for a while. I don't see anyone beating her unless someone from the outside comes. I think Mariah May's on the horizon for being signed by the WWE or some other maybe NXT woman like Roxanne Perez or someone. I know she's now main roster, but I'm talking about like not anyone on the main roster who's been on the main roster for a while should beat Lyra Valkyria. I think it should be like an NXT call up, such as Roxanne Perez or someone like that, or like an outside signing like Mariah May in the future. Let Lyra hold it for a while. I really enjoy this match. Lyra is growing on me, like much like Io did after a long time. Took a while for Io to grow on me. And now she's like Io's one of my favorites. Lyra's face is getting more attractive now too, so I guess I can like her more. Even though her makeup's kind of weird, I love her. I love her entrance. I like that entrance with the wings. I love that. So that's cool. And she's a very good wrestler, so I like seeing that. And yeah, I thought it was a very good match. I didn't get to see much of it. Like this, like I don't know if I think I sent you the pictures of like we were setting up the projector in my cousin's backyard. So like this was the first match that was starting when like we were setting up the projector, so I could kind of see it. It was still too bright outside to get a good picture of it. But from what I saw, it was a great match. I'm probably gonna go back and watch it again because I really like saw like I heard the crowd saying this is awesome and all that, so I'm guessing it was a good match. But from what I saw was I really enjoyed it. So I think she should stay champion for a while. Becky's probably better off TV for a while too because we have so many good women in the pipeline and all that. Like it's hard. Like she's kind of like I wouldn't be surprised if like Bailey, Becky, and Charlotte leave. I mean, I would be surprised if that happened, but like I wouldn't mind if they left. Like like we don't need them right now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's so many other good women that need to like we just lost a slew of great talent, right? Like a lot of the women that we liked are gone. Like Cora Jade and who else was I forgot who else there was like Jakara Jackson, Dakota Kai, people like that. Like I would love to have seen. Like I would love to see Dakota Kai be the one that beat Lyra Valkyria, right? Even though she's been on the thing for a while, I feel like she deserves it. She was in the finals, the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and all that. So I'd love to have seen her beat her, but now she's gone. Maybe she'll come back at SummerSlam like she did last year or whatever year it was, 2 years ago, and she's like a surprise person and she'll beat Lyra Valkyria. That would be cool. But yeah, someone else other than these like main women like Charlotte and Becky and Bailey and I mean Oscar can come back too. That like Oscar hasn't really done anything in a while, but someone like Kairi hasn't done anything as a singles person on the main roster, right? She's always been like the Kabuki Warriors on the main roster. I know she was champion. I think she might have been champion for a while on the main roster, NXT roster, but not here. So I would like to see that too. Okay, the next match was for the Intercontinental Championship, featuring the men's Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio against Penta.
Yeah, so another battle of the Luchas coming at you. To where we actually had Judgment Day they came out with Dom in his entrance, but they had went back to the back. And then so it was really just a 1v1 or so we thought. But yeah, but Dom really looked great in this match. You can as we've been saying for I think the past couple of months for sure, if not the past year, he really shows improvement each and every time you see him in the ring. And really okay, that's something. And then I think also working with someone as good as Penta probably brought out a little bit more in-ring depth than we might not have seen with someone else. But they've also had chemistry as they've kind of been in this program, warring each other for the last couple of weeks as well. So maybe that has something to play with it as well. One of the probably the biggest spot was Dom doing a suicide dive that turned into a what is it called? Not Hurricanrana. Oh my gosh. What do you know what it's called? You know what spot I'm talking about and whatever the movie is called.
Not a poison round either. It was like the leg thing though. I don't know.
Like when he died to the ropes and had his arm around his head and then I guess spinning DDT.
Yeah, DDT. Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, it's Monday. You know what it is. So that it was just so clean that the audience was like going bananas for it. But of course, Dom has really turned not really. He's still a heel, but he's being cheered, much like Jacob has been on SmackDown. So you were getting a lot of dueling cheers between Penta and Dom. It did look like Penta was once again coming back on the offense, but then Carlito would come out to distract the ref while Finn and JD McDonough were kind of trying to interfere on the other side of the ring. But the ref saw them and then tried to like eject them ringside, so it was back to being one-on-one with with Dom and Penta, and it looked like Penta was about to pick up the win as he was going up for the top rope. We didn't get the chance to see what he was going to do because we got the appearance of El Grande Americano showing up to give another headbutt to Penta, like he did a few weeks ago, while the ref was trying to get Judgment Day to get out of the ring, which allowed Dom to pick up the win with a frog splash to retain his title. I thought this was a really fun match. I wasn't sure now that Jacob and Lyra have retained. I thought this might have been the match that we got a different champion. But thanks to shenanigans, Dom gets to keep his title. So, all in all, I think this was a pretty solid match. I don't know exactly if it would be like PLE worthy, but it was still like a good match in and of itself. And of course, that means Spencer once again is still circling around that IC championship, and now we have also Grande Americana in the fold as well, which I think people were speculating that they might also continue this feud down into like AAA. That WWE just acquired to bring that eyes onto that as well, and floating around with that. Grande Americano might become a AAA champion just to antagonize that Mexican crowd. But all in all, like I said, I thought the match was great. Do you think it was the right move to have Dom retain, or were you looking for Penta to get the win?
No, I mean, I think Dom is like riding high right now, so I feel it'd be good if he retains, and all that. And I don't think anyone should beat him for a while. Also, like I like seeing champions hold the titles for a while, unless they're like crappy champions like Cody Rhodes. But yeah, like I feel like this is gonna become like a face turn for Fatu and a face turn for Dominic. I could see Dominic finally leaving Liv, and like Liv like being dumped by all Judgment Day, even maybe losing the tag team titles with Raquel, and Raquel like turning on her, and she'll have this like Happy Corbin type of character change where she's like all down in the dumps, and then how like Corbin was all miserable for a while. I think that's what's gonna be Liv for a while after this whole she breaks up with Dom, she loses the tag team titles, she gets kicked out of Judgment Day, she loses Raquel, like the Diesel turn happens, where Diesel turn on Shawn Michaels kind of thing. Raquel will turn on Liv, stuff like that. And Dominic will stay a face for a while. And Penta, like you're right, he might go and face. He's probably gonna go and face like Grande Americano and AAA for their PLE that they're having, or whatever they're doing. And then maybe him, that'd be a great idea if Grande Americano kind of wins, and then eventually at SummerSlam, Penta beats Grande Americano for the AAA championship, or maybe Grande Americano teams up with somebody else and they win the tag team championships, and then they have Penta, Lucha, and Rey Fenix become the Lucha Brothers again and defeat Grande Americano, and maybe Chad Gable will be his tag team partner. So Grande Americano and Chad Gable will face the Lucha Brothers at SummerSlam for the AAA championships, and and the Lucha Brothers will win that, and I think that will be big. So that's what I foresee in the future coming for those two. But yeah, this was a great match. I thought it was really well done. No one. I don't think anyone thought otherwise, because these are great wrestlers. Luchadors are always like my favorite type of wrestlers. I love the cruiserweights back in the day, WCW. So this is a match that I would love to. This is like probably one of the most anticipated matches for me on this card, and I was excited for it and all that. But yeah, I thought it was a great match, and I'm excited to see what happens with if it pans out the way you were saying and the way I was saying for the future for these guys. The next match was, I guess, a grudge match featuring Pat McAfee and Gunther.
Oh yeah, so this was a match I was unsure about. I wasn't sure what we would get. I know Pat. He's had wrestling and ring experience, but also Gunther also faltering a little bit with that loss to Jay back at Mania. So I feel like it was up in the air on one, whether these two would have chemistry with each other, and then of course people were thinking this was just going to be like a big blowout, given the I guess power imbalance between the two, and that's what we kind of got throughout the match was Gunther pretty much manhandling him throughout the bout, toying with Pat actually, like shoving him into the corners, like smacking him around in the ring. But Pat would would get back up and fight back every time that Gunther thought he would have him down. Even trying to get his own type of headlock sleeper on Gunther at one point, which did not go over well that way. And it seems like every time Pat would try to be striking him with like elbow strikes and arm strikes and even giving Gunther some chops, it just seems to just bounce off Gunther like like swatting away a fly. Until Gunther really tried to get down to business by trying to put Matt in a sleeper hold, and I'm Pat, not Matt, sorry. And it looked like he was going to pass out, and then he would like fight, the whole like when they try to drop the arm, the ref trying to drop the arm, so he was gonna be passed out. He would like catch it at the last minute, and from the beginning of the match, Cole let him know he was going to be 100% biased and rooting for his fellow commentator for the whole match, to the point where I don't even think the man sat down once the match started. To where also while Gunther had, I believe, had him in another sleeper hold, Cole would leave the commentary desk, which we never see him do because he's always wants to be the expert professional. To go ringside to like cheer Pat on, to like encourage him to like come to the ring. I mean, to like to break the hold. And then at one point, while I think he had excuse me, I think he had Gunther in a pin where Michael Cole was actually holding Gunther's feet down so he couldn't kick out. He still kicked out because he's that strong, and like gave Cole like the death stare to where I was like, Cole, I think you're about to die. And he did get his hands on Cole to I actually don't know what he was going to do. I would presume powerbomb him somewhere. But Pat came to the rescue because he was down on the mat after almost being choked out. I actually thought Wade might get involved because he is a wrestler and I believe he is cleared. But I guess they wasn't going to let all the commentators get involved in this match. Eventually, Gunther would put Pat back in a sleeper hold to where he would finally succumb to the submission, winning the match. I thought this was a really fun match. More fun than I thought it was gonna be, like I said, because I didn't know if the chemistry would gel. Like I knew Pat would get some offenses in, but I just wasn't sure, like I said, if they would gel. Because sometimes you just don't have chemistry with someone in the ring. It also went longer than I thought because I thought also that Gunther would just steamroll him. I'm actually kind of glad that they didn't. I'm glad they got Pat involved, and then also with Cole. It would have been funny to see Wade get involved. I just thought that would be cool, just to see him get physical. But I think that this match was a great. Again, probably not a PLE worthy match, but it was a great in between from the fast-paced action that we got from the IC match we just had, and going into the main event that we know would have more heavy weight to it, so to speak. So I thought this was a great like breather match, not a go to the bathroom match, but a nice. All right, let's settle down. Although the crowd they were still lively on Pat's side, wanting them to see if he can beat Gunther because they kept chanting at Gunther like he tapped out from the Mania match. But like I said, I thought this was a fun match. What about you, Kyle? Did you enjoy it? Do you think they gave Pat McAfee too much credit, or do you think Gunther should have steamrolled him, or was just the right appropriate amount of time they gave him?
I thought that's how long was this match? You know?
Oh, that I don't know.
Well, however long this match was, it was way too long. It should have been like 3 seconds on it. Well, sorry, maybe like 7 seconds because knock him down in 4 and then have him tap out or whatever. But yeah, I thought this match was awful. It was a waste of time. This is definitely a bathroom match. It was terrible. Like I did not want to see this match. This was a match I was least looking forward to. I don't know why Pat McAfee's in the ring. I just saw he botched trying to jump over the ropes at one point. That was pretty bad. Gunther's way too good to be wrestling someone like Pat McAfee, and he shouldn't have to wrestle him. There should be not even. It should have been, if it was going to be a long match. It should have been him mostly toying with him and like and then Pat getting moves in here and there, which it kind of was. But there were points where like Pat McAfee's had like Gunther down, which I thought was so stupid. I don't know what they're doing to Gunther's character. He lost to pre-show Jey Uso, which shouldn't have happened, and now he's losing to he's like at points losing to and fighting Pat McAfee. That's so stupid. I can understand for your story's sake, you might like that with the whole Michael Cole getting involved. But other than that, the part where Michael Cole held his legs down and you thought maybe Pat will steal one, but Gunther still kicked out, which was great. Like Gunther should have went after Michael Cole after the match and beat the crap out of him, and then have Wade Barrett save him. Granted, we'd have no commentator on the mic for a little bit, and then we might have no commentator for the rest of the night in the form of to the caliber of Michael Cole. But maybe someone like a Corey Graves could have came out and like took over for a little bit, or a Joe Tessitore if they called him in. Michael Cole should have been eliminated after the match because of the whole storyline aspect of it. Because Gunther, I feel, just beating Pat McAfee doesn't do anything for him. This was just a waste of a card, a waste of a match on a PLE card. They should have had some other type of match on, like pre-show Jey Uso could have fought, which I wouldn't care to see. Where the hell was Cody Rhodes? Like, I guess he's taking time off, right? Since WrestleMania. I don't know. I just thought it was a waste. Like I could have sworn there should have been like other people like fighting. Yeah, like Seth Rollins doing something now too, right? Like Seth Rollins is kind of big in the storyline. CM Punk, like, what the hell's going on with that? They could have had that match. So no, like instead of this. So I thought it was awful, terrible placement in the card. Well, I mean, I guess this is great placement in the card for to go to the bathroom, like Alicia was saying. This would have been great to go to the bathroom during. But yeah, I had no interest in this match, and it proved to be just as bad as I thought it would be. So yeah, I didn't care for this match. It's awful. I'd rather see Seth Rollins versus CM Punk here. But I guess they're saving that for, even though that would be like the 15th millionth time they do it, I guess they're saving it for something else. I thought this was awful. This could have been on SmackDown or Raw, whatever they're on. I don't know what they're on. Or Saturday Night's main event. Anything but a PLE. This is awful. That brings us to the final match featuring for the WWE Championship, featuring the WWE Champion John Cena against the hometown hero, Randy Orton. This, as I looked it up, this was, I think, the 24th time they fought, where Randy Orton has won 12 times and John Cena has won 11 times. So you could probably think of what's going to happen the way that's skewed that way, but you never know. The match kind of started out like, I think how Alicia was saying, like, Becky Lynch was trying to one-up Lyra and Valkyria. In this match, these guys were trying to one-up each other, where what if Cena like did the poke of the eye, Randy Orton kind of did a poke of the eye later, and like they said, the referee is letting it go because it's a championship match and these are two veterans in the ring. So, when Cena did like the 10 what do you call it, the 10 punches in the corner, Orton did 20. When Cena tried to do an attitude adjustment, Randy Orton reversed it into a RKO. That was a pretty good spot. There's really a lot of back and forth wrestling, and really one-upsmanship of each other throughout the match. So I thought that was a really good thing done. Eventually, Cena hit the AA. No, wait, not yet. He went for the AA, but Orton countered into RKO, but both men were kind of out at that point because the RKO hit awkwardly, and I guess the attitude adjustment kind of hit as well. I don't know. But there was a lot of back and forth where Orton was trying to go for that pump kick, but it didn't happen. I believe that's when Cena was actually mocking doing the slamming on the ground and setting up for an RKO, and then eventually I think Randy did hit an RKO and then went for the punt kick, but Cena got up and pushed the referee. Then he went for another RKO, and then Cena pushed Randy Orton into the referee, knocking him out of action. Then Cena hit the attitude adjustment and went to the outside the ring to grab the title. And then he went to go hit Orton with the title, but Orton dodged it and hit an RKO, went for the pin, but only got a 2. Then they both went to the outside and started fighting and tried to break the announce table on each other, but they could not do it. Eventually, Orton did hit Cena with an AA onto the announce table. It didn't break, and then I think Cena kicked the announce table, and then it broke, which is kind of awkward. It's pretty poorly done. Both of them got back up. Orton went for, I think, another RKO, or I forgot what it was exactly, but they pushed each other, or they kind of grappled each other into the steel steps, and the referee's in between them. And the referee got hit and bumped into the steel steps and got knocked out. So he was out for the second time. Then Orton set up a table on the outside and put Cena through the regular table with an attitude adjustment again, I guess to make up for the original table not announcer table not breaking. And then then they brought him into the ring, went for the pin. Orton kicked out. So Cena kicked out. Cena was able to grab that championship and try to hit Orton with it. Orton ducks, and then Cena hit the second referee because before the second pin happened, pin attempt happened. Another referee came from the outside. So this is when Cena hits the second referee, knocks him out, and then Orton lands an RKO, but can't get the pin because the referee is knocked out. Oh, not to mention earlier when the first referee was knocked out, Cena did hit an AA and couldn't get the pin either. So people were saying like, oh, Orton should have won because the referee was knocked out, but Cena could have won earlier, but the referee was knocked out. So it kind of balances out there. Eventually, I don't know why this happened. This was part of the match was stupid, but like Nick Aldis, and I know why it happened because what's going to happen in a second, but like Nick Aldis and a bunch of producers come down to the ringside. Why? I have no idea because like there's been matches where multiple referees have been knocked out, but you don't see everybody come out to the ring to help the referees. Maybe if like it was a serious injury, yes, you help the referees, but like we've seen multiple matches we've seen several matches where multiple referees have been knocked out. So why are Nick Aldis and everyone else, or is it Adam Pearce, whoever came out? Nick Aldis, I think Nick Aldis came out and all that, and then Orton just sees them and starts RKOing every single person. Aldis, Daivari, Jamie Noble, Jason Jordan, like everybody pretty much got like whoever it was, they all got RKO'd for no reason at all. Well, I guess because they're out and they're stupid. And then Cena was already out in the corner, selling the RKO from earlier. So with everybody knocked out, Cena's out in the corner, starting to come to, getting up in the corner on all fours, and Orton just looks at him and he knows it's the punt coming. He gets ready to run for the punt. As he's running for the punt, for some reason, R-Truth comes out to save his childhood hero and gets in the way and says, "Don't hit him," which then caused Orton to hit an RKO with his back turned. So then after the RKO, he kind of kicks R-Truth out of the ring and has his back to Cena. Cena comes and low blows him, then hits him with the belt, and then I think he hits one more AA and goes to the pin and retains because the first original referee gets up eventually and starts crawling over and all that, and that's what happens, and that's how the match ends. And what'd you think, Delisha?
Yeah, I thought this match was pretty good. I guess because they've done this so many times, they just, like I said, they really have good chemistry in the ring. I'm still unsure on how I feel about the heel Cena in general. Right now.
Your sound went out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
There you go.
Better. Oh yeah. So yeah, I was saying I'm a little bit unsure still about the Cena heel turn. His promo on, I believe that Friday before on Randy was probably one of the best he's done since he's been back. But overall, as a heel, I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Randy looked great. It was just so, I don't know if this was like on purpose or just the testament to how much more in shape Randy is. When Cena tried to do the attitude adjustment onto the announce table, it looked like it took an effort to pick up Randy. And then when Randy went to go pick up Cena, when he reversed it to put him onto the announce table, it just looked like so much more effortlessly. I don't know why, but that like little part just like stood out to me. Yeah, I'm not. And yeah, when Nick Aldis and all the other officials came out, I was just like, we've never done this for a referee. That just got knocked out. Now, if like Cena was repeatedly or was like attacking the ref, okay,
right,
maybe I could see them coming up. But it didn't warrant all that. I guess yes, to get the spot of Randy just RKOing everybody, sure, fun, whatever. But it just seemed a little bit out of place. And as far as R-Truth coming in, I feel. Again, I'm sort of torn on it as well because on the one hand, I understand why you would do that because Truth has been defending him since the turn, and they've been having like these little backstage segments and stuff like that. But it did take me out of it a little bit. Did you see the post match?
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah,
I saw on Twitter. I didn't watch it live because I was at my cousin's house.
Oh, me either. So yeah, when that happened, I was just like, okay, we are built. They're gonna do something with that apparently. So yeah, but I guess on a PLE like Backlash, which isn't, it's not one of the big four. It's not one of the also maybe like the big ones that we are like, oh yeah, we gotta tune in for sure. Um, I guess you can get away with something like this on that type of show. But it does cement him as Cena was more the hill because he was so beloved. Um, but yeah, but I think at the end of the day, you knew Cena was winning. But I do like the fact that there was times in the ring where it really looked like Randy could win, and that's really the best case scenario when you kind of know the outcome. But like making believe that actually Orton might be able to get the win off.
Yeah, and that evens up their feud 12-12. So it was. I think Cena matches have not been like in all of his career. They've been entertaining, but these feel like very slow, like Roman Reigns esque matches, like very slow and methodical. Now that's what I think he's trying to do with his new heel persona. But yeah, like it comes out without any fanfare on his thing. His music's hitting, but he doesn't have the whole intro Titantron thing. So it's interesting to see how his character goes. We'll see where it goes from here. I don't know who he's facing next. Like he's trying to check off everyone to like kind of finish off his time here. Um, his next big match, I guess, will be at SummerSlam. But Money in the Bank is next. I really would love to see him go in and use like I said, have the Rock put him into the Money in the Bank and him win it, and go with what I said last, you know, uh, last AfterMat about how it should go. But yeah, let's go on with the finishers. Alicia, what was your low point, your high point, your overall grade?
Yeah. Low point, I think the length of the Pat McAfee Gunther match. Well, I absolutely enjoyed it. Like you, I do think it went a little too long. High point, I'm gonna give to the IC title match because it was just such a fun
Which one?
match. Oh, sorry, the men's. For a split second, I forgot they were both back to back. The men's IC
See,
title match.
Told you, Deletion doesn't like women. She's gonna be start cheering for the Saudi matches as well.
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, I don't even want to think about that coming up next year. Um, but yeah, it was a really fun match. And it's so cool to see how Dom has progressed so well. To where a year and a half ago, before Judgment Day, we didn't think that would even be possible. Overall, I'm gonna give this a B minus. Like I said, I had fun with all the matches. None of them were really like a drag to me, even if I thought like I said, the government went a little too long. And I think the main event did what it needed to do for Cena and for Orton to like get that one more feud out the way with them too. But with the R-Truth hold on, it might not be over. I'm not sure. But yeah, overall, B minus. I enjoyed the show and for what it was. Also, real maybe I should give the high point to the length of the PLE because I do like the fact that after the total card of Mania weekend, where it's just so exhausting of wrestling, to where we kind of get like a breather, which is 5 matches. What was it, like hour and a half? Up maybe. No, I don't think it was fully 2 hours. Or it might have
The
been.
PLA was 2.5 hours.
It was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, because I rewatched it
Oh,
earlier. I mean, I rewatched
oh, well,
my matches earlier, so I had to go jump to certain time points. I saw that there's like 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 40 something seconds.
oh, okay. Well, then they did a really good job of making it not feel like 2.5 hours. Because sometimes 2.5 hours can feel long, or if you're really entertained, it can just go like that.
For me, I agree. The low point was the Gunther, uh, uh, Pat McAfee match. I had no interest in it, and it proved the same. Like it was terrible. It's awful. High point, same thing as you. I think the men's Intercontinental Championship, that was a great match. Very well wrestled, and that's what I expect from like two cruiserweights in a way. And then overall grade, I should give it a B because there's 5 matches. 4 of them were good. One of them was bad. So that comes out to a B average. So I had to say that. I mean, I guess like you, I could say B minus if there's a little certain aspects I didn't like, but I think if there's a certain aspect of each match I didn't like, but the only match I completely didn't like was the Gunther Pat McAfee thing. So everything else I thought was well done and all that. So I don't think there was anything bad in any of those other matches. So I'll give it a B. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Delisha, where can we find you? I know there hasn't been any recent videos. I know you've been busy and all that. And with that loss of the laptop, that's also another issue as well.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, I have an Instagram and YouTube called Alicia Renee TV where I was doing lifestyle and cooking recipes on my channel. But motherhood kind of knocks that down in the priority list. And also, like what I had mentioned, I believe last show that my laptop is out of commission, which is where I was editing a lot of my stuff and like storing everything and doing all the graphics and graphic cards and stuff for my show channel. But I'm trying to come up with like a schedule or somehow where I could maybe do a batch of videos and then get them out and then space them out. But that's still in its developmental phase, so we'll see. Just stay tuned to my socials, and if by next aftermath I have more information, you can always tune into that as well.
Yeah, as for me, the next time you'll see me is here on Aftermath. We'll be talking about the Money in the Bank, which is one of my favorite PLEs because I love to see who they bring out. What I kind of hope they get rid of the thing where they have one person cash in the same night. That's kind of, and then one person cash in at WrestleMania, like pretty much like the whole time through. Like, I would love to see like it either drag out to like the night before next year's Money in the Bank, like last second kind of thing. But not the same night. Let's have it like be another night other than WrestleMania and Money in the Bank where they cash in the respective winners. But yeah, that's next time to see us. The PLE is actually going to be on June 7th, so we'll be covering on the Monday, June 9th at 6 o'clock. Until then, I guess, remember, the secret boss is always right, and y'all are idiots. Until next time, see you guys later.
Bye.
Close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands.